What is the best platform for sharing information about recording in the home studio, and why is it Facebook? Yes, when you start a podcast with a big giant sigh, you know you're in for some fun. Facebook. Why would I be telling you to go on Facebook to share information, to share your music, to learn how to create, record, and release your best music? Because it's pretty good. I know. And yeah, cue the comments down in the video, comments down below. Cue the emails to me, Pete at studiolivetoday.com. I'm going to own this because since 2016, when I started this channel, I've been on Facebook and I have met and interacted with, got to know, and still interact with some amazing people on Facebook. And I know, I get it. Facebook is Meta, Meta is Zucks, and Zucks, you can think of a word that rhymes with that, right? However, if you get past all that, you don't have to be on Facebook to get involved in all the politics, get involved with all the drama, catch up with Auntie Beryl and all of her latest procedures. You can be on Facebook to interact with other cool people that are creating, recording, and releasing their best music. And at the same time, maybe you can learn a thing or two about creating, recording, and releasing your best music. Hello, my name is Pete. This is the Studio Live Today podcast. That's about the longest intro we've ever done here. If you're here on the video version and you think this is interesting, fun, or whatever, give a thumbs up. I've got a feeling there's going to be a few more thumbs down on this one than most others because we're talking about why you should use Facebook to share your musical journey, to interact with other people, and to learn how to create, record, and release your best music. Because that's what we're all about around here. At the end of the day, I want to see you creating, recording, and most importantly, finishing and releasing your best music. We're here in August 2024. We're 1 month away from Songtember, which is our big Song in a Month challenge we do here on Studio Live Today. If you don't know about Songtember, head on over studiolivetoday.com/Songtember. And in this week's podcast, I'm going to tell you all the good and then also some of the bad about interacting with people on Facebook. Because I know many of you are already on Facebook. Many of you are not on Facebook. Some of you choose to not be on Facebook specifically because you don't like the platform and you don't think there's any value to it. I'm going to try and convince you that there is some value out there and you don't have to get involved in the other stuff. But at the end of the day, you do you, boo. That's my 2024 motto. You do you. Let's go through. I've got a bunch of talking points here about why Facebook is actually okay. I know, controversial statement. It's okay to like Facebook in 2024, or at least use it. And if you don't like it, look at it this way. Utilize it. It's a free platform. I know, free. Let's put some big quotation marks around free because it's not actually free. Anytime there's a free service, a free product, you are the product. So yes, you do give up some of your privacy. Facebook's actually pretty good though in terms of you can go in there and be very, very private about things. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. What do I like about Facebook as opposed to, because here's the thing, if you're into music, if you're into the recording and the home studio world, you've all been through this, right? You've been on Twitter or now X. You've probably been to a platform that used to be called Gear Sluts. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I still call it that. Maybe you've been on the Audio Bus forums. If you have, I'm very sorry. Because no, Audio Bus, everyone loves the Audio Bus forums, right? They're all fine. Everything goes well there. Maybe you've been on other forums. Anyway, or maybe you've been in Facebook and maybe you've caught up with some of the Facebook groups. I'm a bit biased because the Create, Record, Release Facebook group, I started that. That's the official Studio Live Today group. Many of you are members. If you're not, go and check it out. You can find the links down in the description of this video podcast, or if you're on the audio version, just go to createrecordrelease.com. You'll find your way there, or search Create Record Released on Facebook. There's also things like the GarageBand users Facebook group. There's the Logic Pro users Facebook group. There's a bunch of great Facebook groups. And look, Facebook groups are like the internet in general. There's some horrible dark corners where gremlins are around and bad things happen. And then there's the bright, shining lights like the places I just mentioned there, where there's only good people and only good things happen all the time. Psst, that's not really true. But we'll talk about that a bit later. So, why do I like Facebook? Why am I recommending Facebook to you? I'm going to tell you a little story here. I had someone who came to me and said, Pete, they said, I hate Facebook. I left Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to interact with my family on Facebook. Everything bad happens in the world is on Facebook. No, I'm not coming back. And I said to them, that's cool. But here's the thing. There's some really cool music groups. And why don't you just create a brand new account? Just join these things. You can create a private account. You don't even have to put your face on there. You don't have to open yourself up to public. But come on and join the group. I'm not going to out them because that's not how I roll. But they did that. They joined the Create, Record, Release Facebook group, the GarageBand Users Facebook group, and they're loving it. Yeah, because they're only with cool people. And as much as I'd love to say that things like Discord and things like forums and websites and things are great, and they are, for those of us of a certain age, Facebook just kind of works. And I don't know how to explain it except to say that it kind of works for people like us. Because if you're like me, you were an internet nerd back in the day, you liked the things that were out then, and in 2008, when Facebook came out, you were probably on MySpace, and you moved to Facebook, and you were like, oh yeah, this is this new cool person thing where we go and hang out if we're nerds. And now it's not exactly that, is it? And I won't even go into what it is, except to say, if you don't like what Facebook has become, don't just toe the line and say, I'm going to use Facebook for all the other things. But there's so many great music communities. And hopefully in the next half an hour or so, as I rant about this, maybe I'll convince you to come back. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll move on forever. One thing I like about Facebook is that, for the most part, we're talking about real people. Now, we're not really, because anyone can create a Facebook account. You can put fake information in there. You can do what you want. But in my experience, in the groups that I've been in, we'll talk groups in a moment, in the groups that I've been in, the real people kind of bubble up to the top, the people that are actually going to have interactions with you. And many of you are probably watching this podcast or listening to this podcast online right now. You know who you are. But the sort of people who you see on the YouTube, you see on the Facebook, you see on the Instagram, maybe you even see them on the TikTok these days. I'm not going to judge. I'm not young, but many of you are. So wherever you are, you see these same people. And again, they don't have to be exactly their real personality. Who's actually real on the internet? I'm sure as heck not. I'm at least a 2x, 3x version of myself. But you get to actually interact with real people and other musicians. And these are people that are having the same challenges as you are. And that's important because sometimes we undervalue the fact that we can actually talk with other people about the things that are going on. So if you are someone who's a big introvert, who's really shy, who doesn't want to share their music, there's other people in these groups. If you're someone who is a loud and out there extrovert, there's other people in these groups like you as well. You are going to find your kindred spirits. You're going to find people that you really gel with. And you'll find some people that you won't. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. The best thing about Facebook is the groups. I'm going to be honest with you. Being an individual on Facebook is not the greatest thing because you get a lot of ads. You get a lot of, I went to school with you in grade 7 and I didn't really like you then, and why am I going to chat to you now? But the groups is where you can actually get some really curated content. I've already talked about a few: Create, Record, Release, GarageBand users, Logic Pro users. Many of you are members. But if you're not, consider just starting a Facebook account and joining these groups. They're in the description. Don't worry. And you don't even have to really be yourself, but we'd love if you are, because we have these great curated groups. And you might be thinking, they're going to be full of trolls. They're going to be full of people that are bad, that are going to tell me that my music sucks, that are going to be horrible people. Some groups are. I'm going to be very honest with you. It is a great place for people with low self-esteem that want to bash on other people, that want to say bad things about other people's music, to hang out in a lot of these groups. But there's also groups like the ones that I'm moderating or that I'm involved with that aren't that at all. We'll talk about why that is in a moment. So groups are a great way to get involved with Facebook. Access to professionals, or let's not even say professionals, but people that you want to catch up with, people that you want to hear from. If you want to know the latest GarageBand Guide video from Patrick from the GarageBand Guide and the Logic Pro Guide, if you want to hear what Jade Starr is up to and what tutorials she's just put out or where she's walking to today, if you want to find out when the latest episode of You Rock from Thomas Christ is happening, you need to be on Facebook. If you want to hear Jamie Mallender talk about the amazing stuff you can do on your iPad using Cubasis, you want to be on Facebook because all the coolest people are there. I'm telling you, you're actually missing out if you're not on Facebook because it's kind of where us older folks hang out. And guess what? A lot of the YouTube content creators that you're probably watching and that you're subscribed to, if you want to get a little bit more direct access to us, and I'm not saying we're the rock stars that you need to be lining up to get our autographs, but I'm saying that I was actually blown away when I first started interacting with these groups online, and I was in the GarageBand users Facebook group, and I'm going to embarrass Patrick from the GarageBand Guide, but I was in there, and I'm this like new guy starting to create GarageBand iOS content, and then the first time that I saw this name come up, Patrick from the GarageBand Guide, I was like, wait, are you the Patrick from the GarageBand Guide? And he was like, yeah. Hey, Pete, how you doing? And now, of course, if you've been watching this channel, you know that Patrick's been on the channel many times. He's been on GarageBand Weekly here on the channel many times. I would consider him a good friend, if not acquaintance. Patrick, you need to tell me. Are we friends or acquaintances? But either way, it is cool to hang out with these sort of people. And even outside of that, so I've been playing around in other groups as well. And an author that I love, and I'm going to name drop, hang on, Seth Godin. I saw him on a Facebook group the other day on a streaming platform about video streaming online. And I'm like, Seth Godin, this guy is like my hero. He writes great books. I've read pretty much everything he's ever written. So you can actually find some cool people that you can hero worship. I mean, that you can interact with. So that's a cool thing. What about chatting to people? So I have mixed feelings on this, but if you are worried about, the whole green bubble, blue bubble thing, how do you have good conversations with people? Some of the best conversations I have directly and in groups, in small groups, in large groups, and everything in between is on Messenger chat. So Facebook has a thing called Messenger, which is part of Facebook. Once you join Facebook, you can chat to other people through Messenger. And I've got some great groups. I chat with a lot of very cool people. Some of them I name dropped before. But I chat with a lot of cool people on Facebook Messenger. And the good thing about it is that it doesn't matter if you're on your PC, your Mac, your Android, your iPad, your iPhone. It's all kind of ubiquitous. It's a little bit what I wish that Apple would do with iMessage. And I guess they're kind of getting into that with RCS. But for everything that I say that is going to be negative about Facebook, and there'll be some, Facebook Messenger is actually pretty cool because I can actually have these groups with people, and regardless of what they're using to do their day-to-day work, they're on Facebook and they're on Facebook Messenger as well. What about sharing? Sharing is tough because a lot of people put comments here. If you're watching on YouTube, you might be tempted to put a comment in the YouTube comments down below, and that's cool. And I respond to those. But a lot of people ask me questions and they're like, Johns, I've got this audio interface and I'm using this iPad and I'm plugging in this guitar and this microphone and I'm doing this USB device and it's not working. And I often have to say to them, look, you're really going to have to do one or two things. You're going to have to email me so you can send me some screenshots, or maybe you need to actually join the Create, Record, Release Facebook group and post it there. Emailing me is cool because obviously you can attach photos. You can share your photos of what's going on with me directly. But the reason the Facebook group is even better is that you don't just send it to me. There's at this point in time 1,500 plus people in the Create, Record, Release Facebook group. And I try to answer a lot of questions, but if I'm not there, if I'm not around, if it's the middle of the night for me, there are amazing people that can answer these questions and can give you the information that you need on the spot. So it's a great way. And you can share those photos. You can share those intricate details. You can take a snapshot of your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac, your PC, whatever you're using, and say, hey, I'm trying to do this. What am I doing wrong? Do you know what I could do to make this better? Am I doing anything really obvious that someone can just tell me, hey, you need to do that? Same with videos. I don't do enough videos on Facebook these days because let's be really honest, and we'll talk about some problems with Facebook later, but let's be really honest, the Facebook video quality is not great. Would I recommend if you've got a high quality music video or tutorial video that you want to share with folks, should you share it using Facebook video? Probably not. You should probably put it on YouTube because at least YouTube gives you some decent, sure, it's all still compressed. It's all compressed video and compressed audio. Everywhere on the internet is. If it wasn't, we'd be in a more dire environmental situation than we already are. But, and that's to do with the servers, and don't worry, we'll talk about that another time. But you can actually share videos on Facebook when you want to share, like, here's my setup. So I've done it before. I've done little videos of my studio setup, and people have put videos on Facebook, and they've said, here's what I'm trying to do. And I immediately identify, I'm like, you're using that $3 Amazon USB to Lightning adapter, aren't you? I don't say it that smugly. I'm like, hey, you're using a Lightning to USB adapter that you may or may not have bought on Amazon for maybe not much money. You kind of need to buy the genuine Apple Lightning to USB 3 adapter. And if you do that and you plug in the same audio interface or the same USB microphone or the same MIDI keyboard, it's going to work. The problem you have is you didn't come to Studio Live today, you didn't listen to Pete Johns, you didn't buy the genuine Apple product when it came to Lightning to USB, and now you're paying the price for it. So, yeah, it is good, except that I have to tell them they have to go out and spend $35 of their hard-earned cash. But sharing videos is very cool and a cool thing that Facebook allows you to do. I talked about it, or at least I alluded to it, but the fact that multiple people can comment on your posts, this is cool. If you just email me, it may take me a week or sometimes 2 weeks to get back to you. Look, I don't want to sound like a wanker, but I'm pretty busy. I'm making videos every day. I've got 4 live shows I do every week. I got a family as well. I don't have all the time to individually answer emails, but you know what's cool? Putting out a well-constructed post on a Facebook or on, more importantly, a Facebook group like Create, Record, Release, because people are out there and there's some amazing folks. I'm thinking of you, Tim Clay. I'm thinking of you, Jade Starr. I'm thinking of you, Thomas Christ. I'm thinking of you, Jamie Melander. There's amazing people that are hanging out on Facebook at various different time zones. The reason I mentioned all those people is that you kind of got a 24-hour clock there because there's people in the UK and Europe and Australia and the US, and they're all going to be able to help you out. They're all going to be able to answer your questions when it comes to things to do with your creating, recording, and releasing, whether it's GarageBand or Logic Pro or your iPad or your iPhone or your Mac or your PC or BandLab or Cakewalk, whatever. There's a group for that. It's a bit like the old Apple, there's an app for that. There's a group for that. There's somewhere where you can go. So the fact that multiple people can interact with and comment on your posts, and you can put a question out there, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and you can have like 6 or 7 really good comments and great ideas of things you can try. Where do you get that for free? And again, I get it, free. Yes, I know you're giving away your privacy and your data and all that stuff. I know that's why some people don't want to be on Facebook. You're giving that stuff away. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. All right, let's go. The next topic we have here is moderation. Now, there are 2 things with this. And look, I've been on forums before. I've been on forums that shall remain unnamed, yes, lots, and remain unnamed, Audiobus. And they are fine, and they're moderated. And look, if you go on Reddit, it's the same sort of deal. If you go into Discord, it's the same sort of deal. A group or a forum is as good or as bad as the people who moderate it. I've said that for a long time, and I'll stand by it. And there are 2 ways to moderate. There's 2 types of moderators. There's the group moderation, which is almost better than the actual administrator moderation. So what is group moderation? So this is the fact that if someone comes in and they're being a dick, let's be honest, they're being a giant dick. So someone asks a simple question, they're like, oh, I can't believe you don't even know how to connect a USB-C device to a USB-A port. You just need an adapter, you moron. Yeah, guess what? You say that once in the Create, Record, Release Facebook group, you get a message from me or one of the moderation team. Or what actually happens is you actually get some comments from other people who aren't even necessarily moderators saying, hey, that's not how we behave around here. That's not how adults behave in the adult world. You're either a child or you're acting like one. So you need to take a long, hard look and go and tell your parents that they raised a rubbish child, if that's what you are. But so there's two ways there. There's the moderation that comes out of the group. So that can either be through just, hey, a bunch of people come in there and start commenting, and that person goes away because they're like, oh, I misread the room. This isn't one of those groups where we all hate each other and we all pile on when someone asks a simple question. This is a supportive group. I guess I'm not welcome. Or there is the formal moderation where an administrator, a moderator comes in and says, tap, tap, tap. I think you need to leave. It's like when you're at the pub and there's that one guy that's just talking too loudly and like starts threatening people. And it's like, oh yeah, oh, I could beat all you guys ups. And they're like, you're using too many plurals. You need to go out. So yeah, so whether it needs to be the bouncer, one of the moderators or admins, or whether it's just everyone else in the pub just going, that guy there. And I say guy because it's usually a guy. I'm sorry, I'm not usually gender specific, but it's usually a guy. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. There's many good people out there, but God, there's so many trolls, and we don't tolerate them. So the good thing about Facebook, I know, it doesn't even feel right for me to say the good thing about Facebook, but the good thing about Facebook is that the groups have some good moderation tools. They have the ability to do a few things. If you've never been a moderator of a Facebook group, let me tell you a few of the things that we can do. You as a user can report someone, and that goes to the moderator group. And every group that I have a messenger chat. Go back to talking about messenger chat like we did before. I have a messenger chat with all the other moderators, and we get together, and if someone reports something, one of the moderators may put a message to that group saying, hey, this person reported this. Can we all have a look at it? We look at it. We're like, oh, okay, it was kind of harmless. Maybe they overreacted, or yeah, that guy's a dick. They need to go. Or somewhere in between. And here's the cool thing. As a moderator, we can do a few things. We can put that person on post approval, which means that every time they put a post, a comment, something new onto the Facebooks, then we get to actually decide whether it goes through to the public. And if they start doing anything bad, guess what? It comes to us first and we go, nah, and we decline it. We disapprove it. We also have the ability to block them from the group and to remove them from the group completely. And look, that's not done very often. I've been a moderator and an administrator of Facebook groups for 7 years now. And I can count on like two hands the number of times where someone has been so egregiously aggressive, insulting, not read the room, not followed the guidelines. And guess what? If you're sitting there right now going, oh no, but what if I accidentally do something one day? What if I accidentally make a comment and then I get banned from the group forever? Guess what? You are not a candidate for being banned from a Facebook group or pretty much anything in life. The people that are going to be banned from these groups are the people that as soon as they're banned, they're like, I can't believe I was banned. I wasn't doing anything. Sure, I told that person that their music was shit and they should stop creating and they should never create or share anything ever again. But I was just telling it like it is. That's just how I am. I call a spade a frickin' spanner. Yeah, no, you're out. Sorry. And that's the cool thing. People say, but what about freedom of speech? I don't know why I do this every time. So if you're not watching the video version, if you're on the audio version, I'm doing a weird like Popeye style, it's like arm thing. But why? I don't know why I do that. But yeah, people will be indignant. And that's the thing. The type of people that are going to get banned from a Facebook group are not you. They're not you that are watching this right now. They're not the sort of people that will do it by mistake. They're not the sort of person that will do one thing because they're having one bad day. I pride myself on the fact that we give people chances, probably too many chances. We've given second and third and fourth chances, even though I've known in my gut, I've known in deep down that these people are just going to continue doing the same things to the same people in the same groups. I'm like, maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe their dog is sick. Maybe they stubbed their toe on the furniture. That's really painful. I get it. But usually 90% of the time, maybe 95, as soon as I see a comment and I'm like, this person needs to go into post approval, then very soon after that, they do something else very similar, and suddenly they're no longer in the group. But if you're worried about it, it's like people that, oh no, am I a narcissist? Am I a sociopath? If you've ever had those thoughts, you're probably not. And if you've ever thought maybe I'm going to get banned from this group, you probably won't. A quick drink from my Studio Live Today mug, studiolivetoday.com/merch. There's some ASMR. Let's talk about some other things, a couple more positives, and then we are going to talk about a few negatives. I'm going to give you some tips and some hints, and we are going to actually address the elephants in the room. But the fact that Facebook is on your phone, it's on your iPad, it's on your Android device, it's on your Mac, it's on your PC. We talked about that before with Messenger, but the fact that these things are everywhere, I actually kind of dig this. I do a lot of walking. Many of you know that. If you're a Patreon or if you're a member of the channel, you've seen me do walk and talks where I chat about things. The fact that I can use Facebook on my phone and the app is actually, I hesitate to say it's good. It's usable. It's not terrible. There you go. There you go, Mark. There's my biggest compliment of Facebook for the entire podcast. I'm talking about Facebook for 20 minutes. Your app is not terrible. There's some bad things about it. We'll talk about those in a minute. But the fact that you can use it on an app and on the web is actually really cool. And there's some other things that don't work that way. Like some things like Reddit, some things like YouTube. The app/web experience is not great. Facebook at least is usable. It's tolerable. There you go. There's a good word for it. It's tolerable. The fact that you can share to and from with Instagram. I know. As soon as I started talking about Facebook, there were some of you that went, Facebook, if you're going to talk about meta stuff, at least talk about Instagram. At least be in the 2024 world where Instagram is where it's at. And I get it. Instagram's good. You have pictures, you have videos, you have reels, you have stories. They've stolen TikTok, they've stolen Snapchat, they've stolen everything. No, they are reusing concepts. They are borrowing concepts from other platforms. But Instagram's fine. It's fine. Like, it's not for me, but it's fine. But I do like the fact that when I share something on Facebook, it can go to Instagram. When I share something on Instagram, it can go to Facebook. There is some cross-pollination between the two platforms, and the fact that they're both meta kind of works okay. Yeah? I don't know. The more I think about that, the more I'm like, that wasn't a positive, Johns. You probably needed to remove that. Here's a good thing, though. This is the final, positive that I'm going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about a few challenges and things to consider when it comes to being on Facebook as a musician. Number one problem, unsolicited messages and comments. Yeah, you're going to get them. But you're going to get them everywhere. Have you been on SoundCloud? Have you been on Instagram? Have you been on any platform? Have you been on YouTube? You're going to, I must admit, YouTube's done a good job lately. I don't normally praise my my alphabet overlords, but yeah, they've done a good job of removing. Remember that thing where for a while there was the little kind of the sexy lady ones, and then there was the weird cryptocurrency ones. Probably because cryptocurrencies died and Web 3.0 is dead and Bitcoin is gone, which is good. But I'm surprised there's no AI bro kind of, you know how we have those things where there'd be like this weird chat stream that would come on your videos? I know this is an aside, but just bear with me for a moment. There would be those videos where you look at the comments and it would be like, I can't believe Roy Smith got me such a great deal on Bitcoin. They're like, I've been using Roy Smith for my trading too. And then the next person's like, how do I get involved with Roy Smith? And then it's like, I hit up Roy Smith on Telegram. And then another person going, yeah, I'm going to contact Roy Smith right now. Telegram number 147392118. No? Doesn't mean anything. If you didn't see those, consider yourself lucky because they've kind of got rid of them. I say all that to say that we don't have a lot of that on Facebook, but you will get it. You will get some of those unsolicited messages. I didn't talk about one final good thing, which is the business or the artist page. So on Facebook, you can have your personal account and you can create a music account or a business account or an artist account, and that can actually really help. So if you're worried that you're going to be annoying your family and your friends with all of your music stuff, create your own music page. Do it. It's easy. There's a video right here on the channel showing you how to do it. It's a little old. There's probably a few different things there, but you can definitely use some of the information on there. So yeah, well, back to the problems, right? You're going to get some unsolicited messages, but like I said, you're going to get those everywhere, and just ignore them. Here's the thing. People are going to hit you up. Here's the things that you're going to get. You're going to get comments and direct messages saying, hey, I run X servers. Would you like to get lots more likes, followers, subscribers? Would you like to make money getting lots of streams? Would you like to join my stream team? I run a very successful marketing firm. I run a very successful record label you've never heard of. Would you like to sign with us? We love your music. Just like everything else on the internet, if it's not specific, if they don't know anything about you, get rid of it. Just delete it, move on. If they've said, hi, Pete Johns Dash Studio Live today, we are a great marketing firm. We market you good. Yeah, it's probably not so great. If it's legitimate, you can have a look at it, but go to Reddit, again, somewhere where I didn't talked about before, or go to the web, or find out. If you usually search name of company, scam, you're going to get a pretty good idea. 99% of the time. Here's the thing. I hate to say it like this because I know many of you, like me, are creators, you're musicians, you like to create and record and release music. 99% of the people that are going to direct message you and say they love your music, would you like to check out their thing, are after one thing, and that is your money. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's kind of where it's at, and that's how it works in 2024. I would love for it to be different. I honestly would, but that's the way it is. So, caveat emptor, like buyer beware. Does caveat emptor actually mean buyer beware? I'm going to go with it anyway. The other thing that you probably are thinking about is, what about the haters? I know you said that moderators look after you. Moderators are going to remove the haters. They're going to make sure that you're looked after. And for the most part, we are. However, it's still going to happen. There are going to be haters online. And you're going to get hate comments on various posts. And look, here's the thing. Make sure you're in the right sort of groups. Make sure that when you choose to be on Facebook, that you get a feel for the group you're in first. You're going to be able to get a sense for it. And again, I'm very, very, very biased, but the Create, Record, Release Facebook group, the GarageBand Users Facebook group, and the Logic Pro Users Facebook group. Am I moderators on all three of those? Yes, I am. So I kind of know that the moderation group that we have on all of those pages, all those groups on Facebook, are really good. They're good people, and they're going to look after you. And as soon as they see something that is not aligned with the values of the group, they're going to jump on it pretty darn quickly. So is that a challenge? Yes. But again, it's about where you share your stuff. If you just put it out there to the world, yeah, maybe you're going to get more of those strangers on the internet comments. And I've talked about this, I've written songs about this, that the comments of strangers on the internet shouldn't be your priority. It shouldn't be what you're thinking about or worrying about, but I know it can be. And I know that that's a challenge that you have. And if you've been on other forums in particular, you've probably seen things like that happen in the past. And people, and I hate it. My pet peeve is people that are no longer creating because of what strangers on the internet told them. People are just like, oh no, I'm never creating again because someone said I sucked. I'm like, who? They're like, oh, they said that they'd worked in a studio for 26 years and I was the worst I'd ever heard. No, I'm sorry. But I'm going to go off on a rant here. Slight side tangent. All right, ding, ding, dingling. I hit the button. Side tangent here. Professional people who are working in studios, who have lots of experience, do not hang out in Facebook groups or forums belittling beginners, amateurs, or even experienced people and telling them that their music sucks. Do you know who do that? Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, people with horribly low self-esteem, and people that just want to get a reaction. And guess what? None of those are welcome in any of the groups that I moderate, at least. And look, I've often said, and look, this is a hard thing because I've had honest conversations via Messenger, via Facebook Messenger, with people who didn't understand why they were banned from a group or didn't understand why people reacted a certain way to the things that they said to them in a group. And I'm really sorry. I am a very empathetic person. I pride myself on the fact that I care about people first and music second. But at the same time, music groups on Facebook are not groups for helping people with disorders. They're not groups for helping people with problems that they need to seek professional help for. I wish them all the best and I hope that they get the help that they need. And I often say that as I say goodbye, because we can't have people bringing other people down. We can't have hate. We can't have people leaving hateful comments on other people's music. Music is for fun. Music is for joy. Music is for expression. It's for freedom. It's just all the good things in the world. It is not where people need to feel like someone may leave a comment that is going to make them feel horrible for the rest of the day. So I will stand by that. I know I feel a bit bad about it because I honestly and genuinely care about people and want people to get the help that they need. Unfortunately, the help that they need is not in a Facebook group dedicated to music. That's all I got to say about that. Couple more final things here, and then we'll finish off. So ads, already talked about it before, but Facebook's free. But guess what? When something's free, when you're not paying for something, you are the product. I know it's a cliche at this point, but it's so true. If you're not paying for something like Facebook, you are the product because you're being advertised to by Facebook and Facebook's advertisers. And if you've taken my advice and you're like, right, I'm doing what Pete said, I'm going to sign up to Facebook and, oh no, it's full of ads. Well, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. There are ads there. I don't know. I reckon Facebook's better than something like TikTok or Instagram at actually at least calling it out. You can really quickly and easily tell what the sponsored content are. And if, like me, you spend the vast majority of your time in groups, I don't know. I get less. I get less advertising in my groups than I do on my main feed. So if you jump into a group, I don't know. We must not be lucrative. They must know that we're just there to use their platform and to not succumb to their advertising. So don't get as much in the way of ads. But yes, agreed. There are ads. They exist. You'll know what they are. You can use an ad blocker if you want, but don't use an ad blocker on YouTube. Otherwise, I can't feed my family. But no, you do you, as we always say. And the final thing I'll mention here in the sort of the problem, the negative side, is your data. What if Facebook steal my song and then like sell it and make money? They don't got time for that. They're not trolling groups to pull songs out. I've had people that have said to me, I'm not sharing my song on Facebook because someone might steal it. They're going to steal my data. They're going to steal my song. They're going to steal my video. They're probably not, if I'm really honest, for a couple of reasons. Is there a nice way of saying if they're going to steal stuff, it's probably not going to be from a Facebook group? You can read between the lines and find out what I mean by that. But even if they do, if you're a great songwriter and you're creating great songs, you're going to write another good one anyway. Oh, I know, I get in trouble for saying that every time. But the other side of that is that hide in plain sight, like posting it on a Facebook group, it timestamps it. In fact, post it publicly. I'm a big supporter of hide in plain sight. Put yourself out there in public because it's much harder to steal from you if you're putting yourself out there in public. If it's private and you share it with a few people and it gets leaked and then someone re-releases your song, you're kind of boned. You're kind of stuffed. But if you hide in plain sight by sharing your stuff publicly, you're pretty good. So yeah, I get it. You're sharing your data, you're sharing your personal data, you're sharing your music, you're sharing your videos, and you're putting it on a platform that maybe you don't trust. But I don't know. I'm a proponent of hide in plain sight. Have I convinced you yet? Sitting here in my old school studio. By the way, I went with this background because I've been on Facebook since the beginning, since 2008. This is kind of what my studio looked like in the beginning. So I went old school with this, the old school peeve amp, the blue couch that was already starting to fall apart. It's up in my daughter's room now, by the way. Maybe I should do a special old school edition of the podcast from the blue couch in the future. Thank you for being here. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a Facebook fan? Are you a Facebook tolerator? Are you a Facebook hater? I want to hear all of your opinions. Maybe you can convince me to finally get off Facebook. I don't know. I just can't find a better solution. Discord is fine. I get it. Reddit is fine. All these places are good, but they don't have all those advantages. I just haven't found a nice, close knit community like I've found on Facebook. And I know I'm suckling at the Meta and the Zuckerberg teat, but it's just what works for me. And it's what works for me right now. Will it be what works for me in 5 years and 10 years? Who knows? I'll be waiting for that. I'm getting all choked up talking about Facebook. Please, if you are not already, get on the mailing list. The Studio Live Today email list is at studiolivetoday.com/email. Someone was asking me, when are your shows? When are you live? What have you been putting out lately? studiolivetoday.com/email is the place to go. You can join the mailing list and I send you one email each week. It's my newsletter. It has all the links, has all the information, and you'll be good to go. You can also head over to studiolivetoday.com if you want to find out all the ways you can interact with me. And as we say at the end of each and every video, please, folks, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating and sharing on Facebook. And I'll see you next time here on the Studio Live Today podcast.